Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Sorry I couldn't upload videos for the last couple of weeks. I was busy with my projects and client projects. Uh, Last time what we did was some JavaScript basic concepts, and we learned about strings concatenation, how to do prompts, how to show prompts, and then we did some conditions in JavaScript. Today we will be doing more of the same stuff. uh, we will be studying some of the advanced concepts in JavaScript, which might not be too advanced, but they will give you a good start with all of your JavaScript tutorials and concepts. So let's start with that. So in this lecture, we are gonna study arrays and how strings are arrays of characters, and then we are gonna study some loops, events, functions or methods, and then we are going to study some objects. All of these are some basic concepts in JavaScript which are really handy when you are working with advanced frameworks and when you're working with different types of coding and different types of HTML pages in JavaScript. So let's start with arrays. So arrays can be list of strings, integer values, so anything anything in JavaScript which is in form of a list. For example, you can have list of colors, red, blue, green, and it will be called an array. uh, right here, if we want to create an array, we just declare a variable my array, and then we just go ahead and create a list of strings which will be an array of strings. So for example, we go with colors, red, blue, and green. So this is an array of colors, and colors inside the array are red, blue, and green. Just for an example, uh, string. Now if you look at the string, you will see that string in itself is an array of characters. So m is a character, y is a character, and string is a special case of arrays. We don't declare string, although we can like this, but string is a special form of array of characters. So just keep that in mind, which might come handy in future. um, Most probably we are going to deal with array indexes and array length. So as you can see, there are three objects or three strings in this array, which means the length of array is 3. And similarly, if we look at the indexes, keep in mind that array starts with index 0. So first element or first item in an array is on index 0, second is on index 1, and third is on index 2. So array length is 3, the maximum index in an array is 2, and the minimum index in an array is 0. So that's how arrays work. Um, let's see if I can show you. uh, Alert my array dot length, and to go to an index of array, all you need to do is my array square brackets and index number 0. So as you can see, last time we ran this file, we are gonna do the same thing right now. um, and see if we can alert the array. Basic.js. So this is how we are going to do it. So as you can see, this file is not referred anywhere, first of all we are going to refer this file, javascript basic.html, and you can see simple js.js file is referred here, which is right here, but we are going to refer this file. So let's do that. We are going to refer this file. We are going to comment all of this out, and here's how we are going to comment it out and work on our arrays, and then we are going to use all of this and uh, work with how the files how, and then you will see how the arrays work. Let's refer this file right here. Instead of doing simple js.js, we are going to do javascript basic.js, and you will see how it changes. So array length 3, as I told you, and then red, the element on index 0 is red. That's how arrays work. Let's go to the next part, loops. So loops are pretty handy when it comes to JavaScript or any other coding language. So if you learn loops here, you will pretty much learn loops everywhere. So let's remove these two or just comment them out, just as we did with the part above. And loops, first of all we are going to learn for loop. This is a for loop variable I equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. Let me explain this loop now. So this loop means that start with I as 0, keep running the loop until the this condition is met, or this condition is not met. In this case, since I is gonna be incremented, here we are incrementing the I. This condition is gonna meet when I is less than 10. As soon as I is equal to 10 or I is greater than 10, this condition is gonna be false, and then this loop will end. So just let's log this I, and you will see how it works. So if we go here, we open the console. You remember we worked with console last time. We're gonna work with console here. So I refresh the page, and you see I starts with 0, and this loop runs till 9. So it prints 0 to 9 since this is I is less than. And if I do equal to, this is less equal to, this loop is gonna print till 10. So that's how for loop works. Second is while loop. While while a certain condition is met, let me do, let's say, while x is greater than 10, keep running this loop, which is console.log x. And what we are going to do is we are going to put x, variable x outside is equal to 20, and we are gonna x minus minus, just at each step we are gonna subtract 1 from x. So now let's comment this out and refresh the page, and you will see how it works. So 20, 19, 18 till 11. So as long as x is greater than 10, it's gonna print this. So basic purpose of loop is usually to iterate through arrays or objects. For example, if I want to iterate this array, I don't know the array length, I can just use everything and just iterate through array using for loop. Let me show you how we can do it. And it's gonna be for variable I equal to 0, I is less than my array dot length, and I plus plus. So since we can start with index at 0 1 2 and length is 3, so this is gonna run for 0 1 and 2 three times and not more than that. We can easily do console dot log my array at I. So you will see it will do red, blue and green. It will print red, blue and green in the console, just like this. So this usually we use loops to iterate through arrays. Events can be anything. There can be any mouse clicks, timer events, keyboard clicks, keyboard events. So all of those are events in JavaScript. For example, as you can see, this is a button. On click is an event. When we will click the button clicked function will be invoked. And if we write the function right here, for example, I write the function right here, uh, function button clicked console.log button is clicked. And just copy it from here, paste it here just to make sure that the names are the same. And when I click the button, you will see button is clicked. So these are the events which we can handle through JavaScript, and these are real-time events that we can use. Functions or methods are same. A function is a wholesome piece of code which performs a certain task. For example, right here we just wrote a function or a method, button clicked, and what the task it performs, it gives us an output inside a console. So we can use functions for different purposes. We can perform different tasks or uh, type of different type of algorithms through functions. So when we invoke the function has a function name, input and output. You will see that we declare a function with the keyword function, and then it has a name, and then we can give it some parameters inside here. For example, I say uh, I can do which button. This is just a parameter input of the function, and it say which button is clicked. This is string concatenation that we studied last time. So I can just send it here, send a parameter here, click me, button is clicked. I can just choose single quotes here. So just like this I can do the function, and you will see that the parameter that I have sent, click me, is clicked. So that's how we pass parameters inside a function. We just declare an input variable here, and then we can pass multiple input variables here as well. And we can, this is called a function signature, and function can output different things. So that in this case it's just outputting to a console. In other cases it can return a value. For example, we can say, okay, do this function, add these two numbers and store it in the third variable. For example, here we can say function add two numbers, number 1, number 2, and we can say return number 1 plus number 2. So the second console.log, we can just call this function, invoke this function, add two numbers and pass it the numbers, let's say 10 and 5, and just log it in the console. And now you will see when I'll click the button, it will output click me is clicked, and then it will output 15. That's how you invoke a function, and that's how function returns the value. So this is a function signature. function name, number of parameters and type of parameters, and then return if it's a if it doesn't return anything, like in this case it's a void function. If it returns something, it's a return function, and this is part of the signature of the function. So that's how functions or methods work in JavaScript. Then there is concept of objects. uh, for this, actually the W3 school has a pretty good uh, exercise or uh, understanding. For example, this is an object car. Car has name, model, weight, color, and there are methods or functions for the car. For example, car can start, car can drive, car can brake, car can stop. And you can try these examples over here as well, and you will get to know the objects as well. So objects are primarily representation of different kind of different kind of objects or different kind of things that you can use inside an object, and then the object has characteristics or properties. For example, these are the properties of the project. What is the name, what is the model, what is the weight and color of the car. These are all properties. And then methods or functions is something that projects objects can do. For example, car can start, or car can drive, or car can brake, or car can stop. So all these are methods of the methods or functions of the object. Similarly, if you take a door, the door has a length, width, thickness. Then door has functions or methods. Door opens, door closes, door locks. All these are parts of the object. So for homework assignment, create a simple game. Ask multiple choice questions from a user. Calculate correct and wrong. If correct is more than wrong, user wins, otherwise user loses. So you can have, for example, you can have multiple choice questions with maybe country names. You can ask the user which flag does this which country does this flag belong to, and then you can give multiple countries like India, Pakistan, USA, Canada, and then user can select the country. If the user answers correctly, user wins. If user answers wrong, user loses. So that's a small homework assignment for you guys. uh, Next lecture we are gonna study a JavaScript framework, jQuery. jQuery comes in really handy because it has a lot of functions and methods inside it which we can use to make our life easier in JavaScript. So next lecture we are gonna do that. So I hope you learned something from this lecture. Please, if you did, subscribe to my channel and uh, keep following my channel for more videos of similar lectures. Hopefully you have understood concepts of HTML, JavaScript, CSS, and Bootstrap. We will study jQuery, and then we will uh, do a proper exercise using all of these technologies, which will give us an insight of how we can use them in our day-to-day development or web development work. Thank you. See you next time.